Online arbitrage has changed a lot over the last few years, and I wanted to create a multi-part video series for you if you're interested in online arbitrage. Whether you are just a beginner, so Online Arbitrage for Beginners, whether you are intermediate, you've just got going, whether you are advanced, you're taking massive action and making it happen in your business, you maybe even quit your job, then this is going to be the perfect series for you, because what we're going to do is we're going to create and we're going to go through this business model from start ultimately to multiple seven figures in your business. My name's Kev here from LifeSuccessEngineer.com, and that's exactly what we've done. We went from starting in the June of 2015, we started online arbitrage. We did pretty much what you did, where we just sort of went absolutely all in, learning everything we can, stumbling our way through, trying to make it happen. We scaled our operations above over 6 figures within 6 months and quit the job, electrical engineering. I quit that after getting a first-class degree, quit that. Went all in, myself and my partner. We got out into this warehouse 6 months later, so this was in total 12 months, and since then we've not looked back. We've built the business, we've got more operations going on now, wholesale, we've got a team, virtual assistant team, sourcing products all the time. I've outsourced myself, and we've taken so much action. What I wanted to do is create a resource for you that will allow myself to sort of distill everything that we've done over the last 3-4 years at this point, and put it in a package in a way for you to go through each of these videos. Okay, so this first part is going to be talking about an overview of the business. Okay, this is going to be an overview of online arbitrage. I'm going to share with you pretty much what the components are of this business model. Everything you need to know about this business model. We're going to talk about some basics, fundamentals. We're going to get in the computer. We're going to do lots of screen shares. I'm going to share with you around the warehouse. We're going to share with you how the warehouse has evolved, and the girl's going to be in here, how to actually get started in terms of the hands-on. How do you label products? How do you bubble wrap, and how do you bag? We're going to leave no stone unturned, and that's what I'm super excited for. At the time of this recording, we're going to go into Q4, which means it is all amazing time. Everybody's super excited, but things have changed. Okay, so let me first start by giving you a bit of an overview, right? So we can move the camera a little bit. We'll move around. So give you a bit of an overview of where we're at now and where we're coming from. We're now, this is our 4th year. We're going to be going into another Q4. This is a 2,000 square foot warehouse, and that is where we have to start. We have to start about the potential. Okay, what is the potential of online arbitrage? I think that's a fair comment to say. If you're looking at starting online arbitrage, then where's the ceiling? And that's one of the questions that I had, because I sort of thought to myself, well, you know, if I'm going to get started in a business model, if I'm going to get started, this online arbitrage, what is the potential of Amazon FBA? Am I going to be able to quit my job? Am I going to be able to outsource the business? Am I going to be able to have this business working for me? And that is ultimately what I want to share with you first. It's about the potential. Okay, so if you're just getting started, if you're just really at the beginning and you're just getting your way, you've heard of online arbitrage and you're thinking to yourself, this is something that I could do. Very practical. I mean, behind me here we've got there's tables. We've got processing tables. It's physical products. There's lots of boxing. There's lots of hands-on. For me, I've always been a sort of a hands-on practical person, whether, you know, as an electrical engineer apprentice, I absolutely loved getting my hands dirty and getting myself stuck in. So for you might be very much a practical person who you don't mind actually putting in the work. You don't mind putting in the time and actually, you know, getting your hands dirty, getting your face dirty a little bit, and actually putting in the effort, because that's ultimately what this is going to take. It's going to take a couple of things. The potential is up here. You can quit your job, right? You can quit your job. You can get to the point where you build a business, right? You can do multiple 6 figures, 7 figures. You can expand the business when you start going into wholesale. When you start thinking about wholesale, it starts getting you along the introduction of, you may start online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, which is going to physical stores instead of online searching. And then you may go to wholesale, so you end up going to trade shows, especially here in the UK, big trade show, with it being the NEC, the spring fair, the autumn fair. And then you may eventually start looking into putting some of that money into private label, which is like the holy grail. But the great way to start is online arbitrage. Okay, so what we're going to do is, allow me just to, I'll walk you around, but a part of this series, we're going to actually have a full video specifically on the warehouse, where we're going to actually have some operations going on. I'm going to share with you some cool, some really quite good sort of videos of over the shoulder, the girls working in here, some time lapses. We're going to have a full video, but I think it'd be great just to share with you the potential to begin with. Okay, and then we're going to get a piece of paper out and map this out, what we're actually going to go through, the journey we're going to go through, and what you're going to go through, and then we're going to get on the laptop as well, and we're actually going to get started. Okay, if that sounds great, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell button, and also give me a thumbs up. This is going to be really, really engaging. It's going to be quite cool to do this video, and we're not going to hold anything back. We're going to get right into it right now. So what we'll do is we'll have a walk around. So I guess the best way to start is just to show you outside the warehouse. This is actually outside. We moved in here in the June of 2016, so the 12 months afterwards. And this was actually a very, very significant moment for us because we'd been starting at home. So if you are wanting to get started, you can start at home, because we had the first 12 months there starting from home. We did everything that we possibly could from home, from the materials, the labeling, the packing, the shipping. We did everything from home, so you can really build yourself up in this business. And I think that's a really key driver for this. You can get yourself started and scale in your own sort of time. So now we've actually got the warehouse. We've got, like, for example, just little things like we've got the recycle bins right here, which we didn't have for so long. We used to have like big piles of cardboard absolutely everywhere. So we'll walk in now and you'll see what it actually looks like today, but it didn't actually look like this until we've actually built over time. So this is the office here, where we've actually got 2 sides of this office. We've got my partner here with Kylie. She sits here. She started everything with me. So one of the things that we did, we actually put photos up on the wall of, you know, our journey, what we've done. So this was actually at home. This is us at home, just like doing all the prep on our living room floor. And you know, this is another picture here, and you'll see as we go around, there's lots of different photos that we've put over time. And that's one thing that I'll say to you: capture your journey. Now you're interested in actually getting started, and you're going to get started, or you maybe have got started. Start taking photographs, start taking some videos, because it's really quite cool, and it's great to look back on. So you'll see that there's 4 girls that work in here. Amazing team that we've got in here. We've got a prep service in here as well, which we'll talk about. But basically inside the warehouse, this is the roller shutter door, right? So the shutter goes up, and this is what we'll call like the pre-login area, which goes onto these shelves. Okay, and that's one of the things that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about your flow of processing products, because that's going to be a big thing when it comes to you building this business. Being able to process products, because if you want to quit your job, if you want to get to a point where you've got so many products about and you're shipping sort of thousands of units every single month, to give you that potential to quit your job, you're gonna have to think about how you're processing products. So even when you're at home, it's really important to think about like the sheets that you're using, the organization, the admin, how you're managing the documentation in terms of receipts and invoices, accountancy. All these things that we're going to talk about throughout this entire series is something that you're going to want to think about, and I'm going to give you my best advice of what I've learned over the years of building this, so you can avoid the things that I didn't do. Okay, so you'll see that this warehouse is there's a flow of shelving which then goes into the prep tables, okay? Into the prep tables. And we're going to get more into the warehouse side of operations when we actually get to the warehouse video. But for now, what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to get on this piece of paper and share with you a bird's eye view, 100 miles high, looking down on this business so you can see where it all fits, the components fit together. And then I'm going to jump onto this laptop here as well, and I'm going to share with you inside the laptop as well. So let's go do that right now on this table. So if you're anything like me, I'm a bit of a visual guy, so I like to see things and how it all fits together. So I thought it'd be quite cool to actually draw out with just some bits of paper here, where I can share with you what this business model is actually going to look like once you've built it. So you can see where it actually, all the components actually fit together. Okay, so when you think about this business model and how it all fits together, it's a system. Okay, this is one of the things that I really want to share with you. Think about this in a system. If you've got specific cogs, if you imagine a machine, you've got cogs of a machine. So I'm not going to be able to draw cogs very well, but if you imagine you've got cogs of a machine that sit together, okay? Funny looking cogs, I know. But if these are interlinked, okay, these are connected. For this machine to run, you need to have this cog that's moving that cog and then moving that cog, right? So if you think about this in online arbitrage, right? Online arbitrage, which you may know as OA, okay? It might be just OA, right? So if you think about that, the three major cogs that you've got, the three major systems that you've got in online arbitrage is, number one, it's sourcing. Okay, sourcing. You've got number two, the whole process in the purchasing. And then number three, you've got the shipping. Okay, they're the three major systems that we've got in this business. Now, there is obviously more, and we'll talk about more, but if you think about it, you're starting online arbitrage. We want to source as much as we possibly can, okay? So wherever you are, whether you are right now in your home, whether you want to potentially go out into a prep service, you're in a warehouse, whatever it is, we want to bring as many products, I call it the multiple sources of sourcing profitable products. Okay, these are multiple streams of sourcing profitable products. And we're going to talk all about that in the next video when we're going to talk about sourcing as a whole, right? Then you've got this whole purchasing scenario where you've got to review, a part of purchasing. You've got to review products. You've got to, once you've found products, you're always reviewing products. Then you've got to purchase them, and then you've got to ship them. Okay. And in terms of the shipping process, like I say, this could be just like us, your home. It could be your warehouse. It could be your shed. It could be your shed. It could be your garage. It could be a prep service, okay? Different scenarios here, and we're going to talk all about that in its individual video as well. But you'll see that this is a system, right? This is a system. And when we start thinking about, okay, how we're going to build this business, we've got to see it as that. Because if you see it as that, then when you start to build it from the fundamentals upwards, you're going to be able to see how everything fits together, because you're going to have teams in place for everything. Okay, now don't want to get too advanced for you at this point, but it's really, really important for you to be able to visually see this. Okay, and around this, obviously you've got the fundamental, which is your Amazon Seller Central account. We're using Amazon FBA, which is a huge driver here. You know, Amazon FBA, they've got so many advantages. The scalability, being able to ship thousands of products. We're talking, you know, you've got the potential to do hundreds of thousands of units shipping to Amazon FBA. Okay? Amazon have got so much, they've got so much rapport, the relationships that they've got with customers, they've got the trust. You know, when you think about it, you've got the trust, it's in our culture. Amazon, they're absolutely everywhere, they're taking over the world. And this is why, when we think about online arbitrage, it's so important to know what the fundamentals are. So the fundamentals, when you really think about it, what we're doing is we are buying low, and then we are shipping to sell high. That's it. That's what we're doing. That's what online arbitrage is. We are buying low to ship to sell high. Okay, and the reason why we can buy low is when we think about the sourcing, when you think of all the different ways you can source, we're looking at potential, you know, we're looking for discount deals. You've got sort of 2 for 1s, you've got 3 for 2s, you've got so many different things that can happen in the marketplace, because you've got Amazon FBA. So we've already mentioned this is Amazon FBA here. We've got stores here. These are 2 separate marketplaces, okay? 2 separate marketplaces, which means when a product has, if there's a product in these stores and there's an identical product on Amazon, because Amazon sell millions of different products, there could be a scenario where you've got a difference in price. So we can buy low to sell high. And we've then got, when you think about it, you've got your costs of goods, you've got plus that to the FBA fee, because we've got to pay Amazon, right? We're going to pay Amazon to do all the shipping, right? When you've got the cost of goods plus that, that's going to give you a specific value. And then if we have the potential to sell high enough to ultimately your sell for, if your sell for is higher than your cost of goods and your FBA fee and everything that's involved with your packaging fees, your shipping fees, then you've got a potential to make a profit. Does that make sense? I know, you know, this is how I work. I'm a bit of a mess like this, but I like to see it visually. I like to see how things go. I like to see the flow, right? So there's different ways of sourcing. We've got multiple ways of sourcing, and a part of this series, we're going to talk specifically about all the different ways. There's a whole scenario here in terms of purchasing. You've got potentials to do sort of virtual assistants, which we call VAs, where they can do like admin for you. So you've got admin here as well. You've got your admin, you've got your accounting, amongst all this as well. There's so many different parts in here when it comes to sort of replenishing. Okay, you've got like your inventory health. There's so many different systems within these cogs, and we as business owners, we want to build this business. We want to get this going without us, right? So this is basically what this whole series is going to be about. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to get onto the computer and I'm going to share a little bit more with you from how ultimately, what we're going to talk about, and ultimately what you need to sort of the basics to get started. Okay, because in the next video we're going to go in, we're going to do this strategically, where we're going to go through the sourcing, we're going to go through the purchasing, we're going to go through the shipping, we're going to go through the admin, we're going to go through the accounting, we're going to go through all this, but there is some basic fundamentals that you need to actually get started. So let's go do that now. So my intention is not to get super complicated and super advanced for you off the bat. The goal is just to give you a general overview of what's going on and some of the things that you're going to need to get started in this sort of part one. But what we're going to do is we're going to jump into here, and I'm going to share with you some of the basic understanding of what you're going to need at least to get started, to make some progress, to start taking massive action, as I like to call it, right here, right now. Okay, so the first thing is you're going to need a Seller Central account. It's just you're gonna need it. You're gonna need a Seller Central account. So depending on where you are, whether you're in the UK or the US, you will just open up a Seller Central account. I'm not gonna go through the entire process right now, but you're gonna need to register now and join FBA. There's a lot of benefits to FBA. We're not gonna go too deeply into all the benefits. Basically, being able to use Amazon, that is the amazing thing about this. So Amazon, they've got all these fulfillment centers. That's why we can ship thousands and thousands of products to Amazon because they've got Amazon FBA, right? So that's one of the things. So there's going to be links in the description so you can read up on about all this. But that's one of the things you're going to need. It's a fundamental thing. A part of this, you're going to need you're going to need some payment details. You're going to have to think about what this is for you. Is it sort of a side hustle? Is it a business? Is it something that you're going to want to incorporate? Accountants and all the rest of it. You're going to have to think about that, because at some point, whether you're sort of incorporated, you've got a limited company, or if you're just self-employed, that's going to make a difference in terms of your account details. Okay, so this is what you're going to need. You're also going to need to obviously you're going to need some materials to actually do the shipping, right? So there's a couple of things, a couple of sites that you can go to. There's like Kite Packaging, for example, that you've got lots of different packaging material. There's different size boxes that you may need. There's the bags that you're going to need, the clear bags with the warning labels. There's going to be a lot of things that you're going to need, and I'm going to have resources and everything included in these videos. And then when we get into the warehouse, the warehouse video, we're going to get really much more deeper into specifics. Can't even speak. And that's really what you're going to need. So this is something that we use. Kite Packaging is really great. It's got bubble wrap, it's got bags, they've got boxes, they've got tape, they've got everything right here. Okay. Then another thing that is, so like when we think about the sourcing, right? So you go to, this is the great thing, you can go to like clearance sections. This is where we're going to talk about sourcing your first deals and sourcing your first products. But when you go to sort of clearance sections, there's always things going on offer. So you've got things like half price, more than half price off. You've got like, down from $24.99 to $9.99. You're making some huge savings on some of these items, and it's always changing, it's always evolving. There's so many there's thousands of websites. I've got a full toolkit, I've got lots of different sites for you to source at. And if you start to really work on your sourcing and streamlining this, you can find lots and lots of products very quickly. And then what you're doing is comparing. So this is something that we're going to get into in the next video when we start talking about really getting into sourcing. But you're going to need some tools, right? So when we analyze any sort of item, you've got like this, Amazon give you the ASIN, it's an identification number, and there's tools such as KEEPA, which allows you to track, or they've tracked, the whole history of a specific item. So you'll see on the screen here, you'll see we've got this graph is the KEEPA graph, and it shares with us everything we need to know, right? So shares with us the history of price. It shares with us if Amazon are selling it themselves. It shares with us the seller rank, okay, the sales rank, which basically means that tells us what the rank of that product is in comparison to every other millions of products out there on the demand and the rate of sales. So for example, the most common is the best selling product is sales rank number 1. If it's never sold on Amazon, it is not ranked. It's got no rank. So when you're able to track a sales rank, you'll be able to see, well, what is the performance of sales from these particular this particular item. So this is why you've got to graph it over a period of time. You're going to want to look at this information over, a month, 90 days, over a period of time, so you can see what's the stability been of the price, what has the sales rank been, and you can then see if you can see these sort of jumps down towards that number one. You can see those step changes from, it's going higher and then it's jumping back down. They're representing sales of this particular item. And we're going to really dig down deeper into winning and losing products when we start talking sourcing. But this shares with us lots of different information, from what the buy box is, what the price has been, how many products, it shares with us so much data. I mean, if you just click onto sort of the data tab here, you'll see it will tell you so much about the product, and not only on KEEPA, the website, but there's also Chrome plugins. So we're going to talk about tools as well, a part of this bigger course. So you've got this is the same sort of representation. You can see it's the graph of KEEPA. You'll see when we get into the data here, when it loads up, you'll see that it shares with us so much information about a particular product. It's staggering on how much information it shares with you. So just look at this here. You can see what the sales rank's been on average. You can see what Amazon's been doing. You can see what the list price has been. The buy box price is so important. 90% of sales on Amazon come from the buy box. So that's really, really important. There's terminology for you to learn, but you can get started when you create your Amazon Seller Central account, as well as you then start listing products, and you go through the process of listing different products in your Seller Central account. There may be scenarios of you having to ungate yourself. That's happened over the last few years. You used to be able to sell a lot more than you do now, but that's just part and parcel of the situation that we find ourselves in. It's all about that tenacity and trying to ungate and working your way through, because that's just what the landscape is right now. There's things you can use, such as cashback sites. There's like complete savings, so you earn a minimum of 10% cashback. You can make a lot of money just from cashback. We've made over £10,000 worth of cashback, additional bonus sales, just by making those purchases through online websites. There's a top cashback as well, which is very much the same as complete savings. And amongst all this, you're going to want to really think about the admin. So we mentioned about the admin. I created what we call these master sheets, and these master sheets are basically allow us to stay in control of what we're doing. So if you think about when you're building your business, you're going to want to capture as much information as possible about your business. And we developed over time. It was like a basic sort of spreadsheet, then it got a bit more advanced, and to the point where these are very, very comprehensive now. And this is where we are tracking, we're capturing the name of the product that we're selling, the ASIN, the store, where we're getting it from, where on Amazon, the buy for, the sell for, the quantities to purchase, what the FBA fee is going to be if we was to sell it at that price, how many products that we've received, the margin, the profit. We are tracking absolutely everything. When we think about the order numbers, the dates, this really does help when we start talking about your business. Because if you can track all this, I can still see purchases from 2015, 16, 17, 18, and so on, because we've tracked absolutely everything. And when you start to track it all, and you can create like graphs. You can really trend things on how you're performing as a business. And that's been the amazing thing about as you evolve. Okay, so as you get started, you're trying to capture as much as you can. You're trying to do the sourcing. You're trying to, you're doing the purchasing, the sourcing. You may well have a partner, a spouse with you, you know, somebody who's working with you, a relative who's going to help you do the packaging, or you're going to get out into a prep service. But the organization is so important, and that's why this is super exciting, because this will, I'll link in the description below about the spreadsheets and things, but watch this space. There's most likely going to be some type of software related in there as well, which will help you do all that, okay? So this has just been a first video that I wanted to share. There's going to be resources down below, everything that you need to, I've put so many different resources over time when it comes to online arbitrage. I just wanted to create a series, like a bit of a walkthrough of the business model from if you are potentially just getting started. So this first video was all about just a general overview. So we've touched on a lot of different elements throughout this video on purpose. It's been purposely done this way because just to give you a bit of an idea from potential warehouse, everything we're going to be talking about, getting your hands dirty. But then now we're going to start getting a bit more specific, okay? We're going to jump into specifics of this business model, getting your first sales with your sourcing, thinking about the purchasing, thinking about the team, thinking about ultimately the shipping, the warehouse, or your living room like it was for me. That's what is super exciting about this. So what we're going to do is we're going to end the video at this point. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Let me know what you're thinking about, whereabouts you are in your journey, because that will be really useful for me to know, especially as we start to go on and we start to put this training to you. Let me know. Are you just getting started? Whereabouts are you? Have you got some sales or not? There's going to be all the resources that we spoke about in the description below. Smash that like button. You know, obviously the more likes that there are, it shows me that I'm going in the right direction. Hit the subscribe button. I've got lots of different videos on the channel, lifesuccessengineer.com, about taking massive action, making it happen, systemizing your business, being relentless with energy, making it happen in your business. You can see, and I'll show you later, there's different photos of our past all the way around this warehouse. But it's been great to have you here. I'm looking forward to seeing in the next video. The next video is going to be part 2, where we're going to get next into this business even more. Get started, take massive action on this, and I'll see you then. My name's Kev here from lifesuccessengineer.com, inspiring you every day to keep taking massive action, and check out part 2 right here. Take care.